What's up, everybody? This is Andre. Excited to see you guys here. It's Friday today, and I'm sure it's exciting for a lot of you guys. It's the weekend coming up. But today is an exciting day for another reason. Because on Fridays, I decided to post these videos educating you guys and sharing my experience with salvage cars, talking about mistakes I made through the years that cost me a lot of money. Hopefully, you're not going to make the same mistakes. And today I would like to record the first video, and I'm sure it's really, really important. It's called 5 Biggest Mistakes You Can Make Buying a Salvage Car, especially if you're a beginner. You should definitely check out this video if you never bought a salvage car, or even if you did, it's gonna definitely help you to avoid a lot of mistakes and save a lot of money. So let's get into it. And the number one mistake you can make when buying a salvage car is buying a car from a dealer at a salvage auction. What does it mean? What do you mean, Andre? So let me explain. There are a few different companies selling cars at salvage auctions. It can be an insurance company. Let's say the car got totaled and gets sent to the salvage auction. Some banks selling repossession cars, some off-lease companies, whatever. And another big segment of salvage market is dealer cars, which means cars that are being sold by other dealers. And there is only a couple of reasons why a dealer car can end up at a salvage auction. Reason number one, and a common one, is somebody bought a car and they got it, they inspected it, they realized it has way more damage than they thought. It's going to cost way more money to fix. Or they discovered some hidden damage that they didn't see in the pictures, and they're like, oh, it's not worth fixing this car, so let us send it back to the auction, sell it to somebody else, get out of the car, and call it a day. So this is first reason why you can see a dealer car at a salvage auction. And reason number two, also, there are dealers out there. What they do is basically they buy really, really badly damaged cars, especially like newer model vehicles with a lot of damage for very, very cheap. And what they do is they doctor it up. So basically they cover up the damage, they replace some parts, sometimes they replace the damaged parts, do like, little bit of body work and make it seem like the damage is really, really minor. And then what they do is they send this car back to the auction and they try to resell it and make money, and resell it for a lot more money than they paid for the car. And these are the worst cars, and these are the cars you should stay away from, because you're going to get yourself in a lot of troubles if you buy one of these cars. Not only is going to be a lot of hidden damage that you didn't see and they most likely did not fix, but also you can discover that a lot of expensive parts are missing from the car, like the computers, airbags, modules, whatever. All the expensive car parts are missing. So I just wanted to illustrate this point, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I went here to Copart website, and I did a simple search, and I found this beautiful 2018 BMW 430i. As you can see, I'm scrolling through the pictures, and the car looks pretty nice. It's really clean inside. See, the engine looks okay. See, even the convertible top opens, and it seems like the only damage here, from what I can see, is this damage on the hood, and on the other side, there's more damage on the hood, fender, headlight, and some damage on the bumper. And also, if you look here in the document type, it says the car comes with Louisiana clean title. And you're gonna be like, wow, this car has a clean title and has this minor damage, so I can buy it. And look over here, they sell in the car. There is a buy it now price of $21,000, and estimated retail value here is $61,450. So you can say to yourself, wow, that's amazing. I can buy this car for $21,000, easily fix this damage, you know, probably, let's say on the high end is going to cost like maybe $2,000-3,000 to fix it, and I'll save like 65-70% of the car's price, and then I can resell for 60 grand and make a lot of money. Well, not so fast, my friends, not so fast. So to me, when I'm looking at this listing, is quite a few red flags. The first red flag, and this is actually another tip, I rarely, if ever, buy a car with clean title at a salvage auction, because there is a reason that this car ended up at a salvage auction, usually. So most of the time, you get more problems than you want in life. So just by looking at the document type, it says Louisiana title, clean title. That's already a red flag. And also, it doesn't say who is selling the car. It doesn't say who the seller is. It doesn't mean it's a dealer car just because there is no seller. Because Copart, you know, that's the thing with Copart. They a lot of times they hide who the seller is, which is one of the, you know, the reasons I really don't like them, is because they're not transparent. You know, they don't tell you who's selling the car. So but it's safe to assume it's a dealer car because it has a clean title, because most cars sold by insurance companies, they're going to have a salvage title. So, you know, for these reasons, I already have my guard up. So what I did is I just copied the VIN number here, and I went on Google. What you can do is just Google it, and I Googled it right here, and here's what I came up with. As you can see, guys, this is the same exact car. It's hard to believe. You know, I'm scrolling to the pictures here, and you see it has a major collision damage in the front. And you know, you see in the back it doesn't look that bad. Even the roof opens. But you know, this car was definitely badly damaged. And you know, when you look at these pictures, there is a reason. You know, they obviously replaced some parts, they doctored it up, and they purposely left some damage on it, so you think, that's the reason the car is here at Copart, is because of this damage. But I'm 100% sure they, you know, underneath there's going to be a lot of issues they didn't fix. Most likely the frame is crooked. I'm sure a lot of parts are missing that's supposed to be there. You know, and in general, it's going to have way more damage than you expect, and this is why you should stay away from cars like that. All right, let's look at another one here. This is another car that I found at Copart. It's a 2017 BMW 330, and again, it doesn't look bad. You know, if you look at the pictures, the car looks clean, looks intact, look like there is no damage on it. The interior looks pretty good. You know, seems like a really nice car. And again, you can buy it for $15,000 right here, the buy it now price, which is for a 2017 BMW 330. That's with estimated retail value of 34 grand. Seems like a bargain. You know, you pay 50%, and you know, seems like a good deal. But again, if you Google the VIN number, here's what comes up, guys. Boom. This is the same exact car. So what this, you know, you see the frame, it has a heavy front collision hit. Frame, everything is shot. You know, the suspension went back. You know, see the airbag is deployed over here if you look closely. Just in general, it's a lot of damage. And if you look here, see the way they took pictures. Over here, you don't see the airbag blown. I'm sure it's still blown. It's just the way they took pictures, so you don't see in the picture. It just stops right here. So again, I'm sure, you know, even though this car looks nice now, it's gonna have a lot of hidden damage that you don't know about, and you're gonna end up spending thousands and thousands of dollars trying to fix it, fix it the right way. It's definitely a bad car to buy. Even though it looks good, I would stay as far away as I can from buying these cars. So, I just wanted to touch on it in this video because, you know, I kind of went too deep on this. But I'm gonna make another video how to spot these cars, what to look for, and I'm gonna share with you guys in later videos. I'm gonna share the resources I use to do research on these cars and the history of these cars to see what happened and to see if this car was, is being sold by a dealer or insurance company, if it had some previous damage. Obviously, Google is a great tool to use, at least like for basic searches, but it doesn't always give you the information. The pictures don't always come up. So there are other resources that you can use to do your research before you buy these cars. All right, so number one mistake, buying salvage cars from dealers at salvage auctions. Don't do that, bad idea. All right, let's move on to mistake number two. And mistake number two is paying attention to the paperwork, or not paying attention to the paperwork, I would say. So what that means, a lot of cars, a lot of states, they have different regulations when it comes to salvage cars. Some of the states are similar, most of the states, but they do have different procedures and different types of paperwork, and you have to be very careful, because a lot of times if the title is branded as junk, parts only, non-repairable, certificate of destruction, anything like that, you will not be able to register this car on the road again, and you're going to lose a lot of money, and you have to be very careful with that. So where do you see that? Let's see in Copart here in document type, right here you see Arizona certificate of title salvage. It's basically Arizona salvage title. Okay, let's look at this car, guys. It's a 2017 Mercedes-Benz Metris, and again, if you look at the pictures, the car looks really, really nice. I don't see any damage on it. Looks really clean. Seems like there is nothing wrong with it. You see, inside, outside, everything is clean. So you may be asking yourself, why is this car at Copart? Why is it as a salvage auction? And if you look at primary damage here, it says damage history. So it means that the car was damaged before and it was repaired since then. And if you look up here, it says document type, it says Florida certificate of destruction. What that means, the Florida certificate of destruction means that the car is non-repairable. So you cannot register it, you cannot title it, and you can't use it on the road. I heard there are ways around it, but like some of my friends say, paper trail will land you in jail, so you can try to mess with it, you can try to clear the title somewhere, but eventually it's not going to end well, so you have to be very careful with that. And this is possibly a reason why this car ended up back at Copart. Possibly somebody bought it who didn't know about it, they fixed the car, and then they tried to register and title it, and they realized, when they went to DMV, they told them, oh, I'm sorry, it has a certificate of destruction, so you cannot register it. So the person, has no other choice than to just send it back to the auction and resell it. And, pretty much the only people who can buy these cars are exporters to export these cars out of the country. Most of the time it's fine, they don't have any issues. But as far as registering in the United States, if you intend to do that, you have to double check many times and make sure that the title you're buying, you'll be able to get the rebuild title and register the car. Another good example is in New York State Salvage Certificate 907A. I live in New York, so I know that with this, this paper, in New York is perfectly fine. You can get the rebuild title and register the car with no issues. But a lot of states don't accept New York Salvage Certificate. So if you go to Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Connecticut, they don't accept New York Salvage Certificate 907A. They're going to tell you have to go back to New York, do inspection there, and then get the rebuild title, and only then you can register this car. So it's basically it's not the title, it's just a paper from the insurance company saying that the car was salvaged and they're selling it. But it's not the actual title, and a lot of states have issues with it. So again, you got to be very careful with these guys. And if you're not sure, Google it, ask questions. Don't end up spending thousands of dollars on something you can't register. All right, so this is a mistake number two, not paying attention to paperwork. always pay attention to paperwork, guys. It's very important. Okay, mistake number 3, buying sight unseen. So a lot of times you look at the pictures and you think, okay, you know, it doesn't look that bad. You know, the damage is, you know, looks okay. I'll just take a chance and bid on it, you know, and you kind of estimate the cost, but you don't see a lot of hidden damage. And especially when you're a beginner, I highly recommend, if you can, go in person and inspect the car before bidding on it. And unfortunately, some yards won't allow you to go in if you're not a registered buyer or if you're not a dealer. But what you can do is you can use a service. There are companies out there that do salvage inspections, and they can inspect the vehicle for you before the sale, and they can do a report. They can take additional pictures. They can walk around the car with you on the phone, and they can basically try to help you to avoid unexpected damage. And if you scroll down, you know, if you scroll down here, let me just minimize this. In sale information section on Copart, there is a link that says inspection services. You click on that, and here, inspectors, you can see a list of a lot of different companies. There's like 2 pages with the name and phone number and the email address of the person. And some of these are like regular buyers, like regular people, and some of them are actually companies who only do inspections. That's what they do day in and day out, like A to Z Salvage or A Cut Above Inspectors. They do inspections in different states, so you can go with either one. I had to use this a few times, and I always like to work with like a person, like local, who lives nearby, and they can set up an inspection at a short notice. They can drive to the yard. It's not far from them, and they usually charge you less. And they can, you know, it's more personal experience. They give you their phone number. You can call them. You can ask questions, you know. But I used a few different companies. Maybe I'll make another video about that later, detailing the inspection companies. But it's very important, especially on the cars where you don't see the obvious damage. Let's say undercarriage damaged cars, or flood cars, or like theft recovered cars. You always want to do the inspection to make sure you're not going to end up spending way more than you wanted on the car because it has some unexpected damage that you didn't see in the pictures. So mistake number 3, buying sight unseen. Don't do that, guys, especially if you're a beginner. Always get a report. It's not going to cost you a lot of money. You know, usually it's somewhere around $125, $150, $100, somewhere around that range, and it can save you thousands of dollars. All right, moving on. The next mistake, it's kind of related to the previous one, and it's underestimating cost of repairs and parts. So obviously, if you bought the car sight unseen, you can easily underestimate the cost of repairs and parts. But even if you did look at the pictures and, you know, you saw the car, right? Well, in this case, obviously, you will underestimate the cost of repairs and parts, because you don't see, you know, you don't see all the hidden damage. You don't know it's like you know, you blind in the dark. You don't know what you're buying. But some cars, you know, you can sometimes there is undercarriage damage or some invisible damage that you don't see in the pictures. And these people at these auctions are just masters of taking pictures, not to show you the information they don't want you to see. So, you know, you can easily think, oh, okay, this is this, I can fix that. You know, this looks fixable. You know, so it shouldn't cost more than a couple thousand. But when you get the car, you start calling the dealer. You know, start looking for parts. You realize the parts are way more expensive than you thought, and then you're like, wow, you know, and then you end up spending way more money than you wanted to on your repair project. Just to give you an example, just recently I bought a 2013 Mercedes C300, and it had, you know, the damage on the rear bumper, you know, so it wasn't bad. I'm like, I was sure I can fix it, but there is the chrome molding on it that goes across the bumper. And I figured, okay, that this molding is, you know, well, how much can a molding cost? Maybe $50, $100, you know. But when I called the dealer, it turned out that this molding comes in 3 pieces. It's like 3 sections: driver's side, middle side, and passenger side. And each section is like $150. So So the price for this molding is like $450 for like a small, like a tiny thin chrome strip, which is pretty insane. But that's how it is, you know, on these cars, especially on luxury cars, import cars. Parts cost can get out of hand, you know, so you have to be very careful, especially with headlights. Like on this BMW, I'm sure the headlights cost a lot of money, you know, the computers, you know, even the body parts, everything is expensive. So you got to do your homework before you bid on something. You got to set a target budget, and you have to, you know, just estimate, you know, write down the list of parts that you think you're gonna have to replace, and how much you think the bodywork will cost approximately, and always like try to, you know, estimate more than it is, just to make sure. If it's less, great, you know, you're gonna save money. But if it's more, then you're not gonna end up spending, you know, way more than you wanted to spend. So always make a list, estimate the cost of repairs, and it's gonna save you a lot of money. If you're not sure, you know, you can always go to a body shop who's going to fix your car. I highly recommend you find a body shop beforehand, and you can show them the pictures of the car, and ask them what they think about it. And a lot of times they have way more experience than you do, so they're going to look at it and going to tell you if this is a good idea or bad idea, or potential pitfalls you can fall into, and things like that. So always, you know, don't underestimate the cost of parts and repairs, because these are really, really expensive, especially here in the United States. And this leads me to the final mistake. Mistake number 5 is going over budget, or what I call bidding wars. So what happens is, you find the car, you really, really like it, you get excited, you found your dream car, you're like, okay, that's it, I'm gonna get it. Let's say you decide, I'm gonna go up to $8,000. You know, it's a lot of money. I'm sure nobody's gonna come even close to that number, so I'm sure I'm gonna win it. The pre-bid is like only $3,000 right now, so I have a lot of room. Okay, so the auction starts, you start bidding, and then the price goes up, goes up, goes up, and there is another guy who wants the car as badly as you want it, and you start bidding against each other, and the price goes to 8,000, then it goes to 8,100, 82, 85. And you think, oh, I don't want to lose this car over like a couple $100. And you keep bidding, and then you end up buying the car for like 9,500. And then, you know, right after you think, crap, I paid way more money than I wanted to pay, you know. And now you're in trouble, because you already did your numbers, you know how much you could pay for the car, and, you know, you get screwed because you paid way too much. It happened to me a couple times, especially in earlier days when I didn't have that much experience. There was a 2010 Audi A5 that I found. It had a V6 engine and a stick shift transmission, which is pretty rare. So I got excited. I'm like, oh, I gotta get this car, and I ended up paying way more than I should have paid, and I ended up spending way more than I should have spent on repairs, you know, because I didn't know. You know, I thought the quarter panel can be fixed, and ended up I had to replace the whole quarter panel. There was a lot of damage that I didn't see. So I ended up with this car sitting on my lot for like a few months, and I spent so much money fixing it. I barely got my money back. I was lucky. I thought I'm gonna lose money. So bidding wars is always a bad idea, guys. There's always another fish in the sea. If you can't get it, somebody bid more than you, just walk away, look for something else. It's okay. You always find your deal. And, you know, obviously if it's like $100, $200, you know, you don't want to lose a car, especially the car you like, or like a couple $100. But if you see that, you know, the price goes up 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 more than you wanted to pay, just walk away. Don't even worry about it, and you'll be fine. All right. So to recap, 5 mistakes that you guys should not be making when buying a salvage car. Mistake number 1: never buy a dealer car at the auction, at the salvage auction. Stay away from dealer cars. You're gonna have nothing but headaches, and you're gonna regret that you bought the car. Number 2, pay attention to the paperwork. Make sure the paperwork is the one that you can use in your state. You can get a rebuilt title. You can register the car. I'm gonna get into it on one of the next videos. I'm gonna go into detail in all the paperwork types, and I walk through the ones that I know, and discuss that in future videos. Mistake number 3: don't buy cars sight unseen if you can. You know, if possible, always inspect the car in person or send somebody to inspect it for you. Number 4, don't underestimate cost of repairs and parts. Very expensive parts and very expensive labor in the United States. So make sure you do your numbers before you buy a car to see if it's even worth it to buy it for you. And finally, don't go over budget and don't get into bidding wars. If the price goes too high on the car you wanted, just walk away, look for another car. All right, guys. So I hope this was helpful for you. And like I said, every Friday I'm gonna post a video on different topics about salvage cars, rebuild cars, buying and fixing cars, where to find parts, how to avoid lemons, you know, how to not buy cars that you shouldn't buy, you know, don't lose a lot of money and things like that. If you have any suggestions, if you would like me to talk about a particular topic, please comment down below. I love reading your comments. It tells me somebody is listening. Please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. I'll keep doing these videos. Thank you guys again. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.